Hello and welcome to class. My name's Ollie, this is my dog Potty, also known as Potato. Yes, my dog is called Potato. And today I'm going to be guiding you through a 40 to 50 minute power vinyasa flow. So it's going to be a fun one, it's going to be challenging at times, but the main point of today's class is to give you a taste of what to expect from my Patreon. I'm going to be reserving YouTube for shorter classes, I'm talking 20 to 40 minutes. So if you like my style of teaching, but feel like you want to deepen your practice, you feel like you want a longer, more diverse practice, then click the link in the bio below, head over to my Patreon, where all of my classes are going to be at least 1 hour long. So, now that's out of the way and my dog's gone, we're going to go ahead and get started in a child's pose. Alright, let's make our way into a child's pose at the back of the yoga mat. Big toes together, knees apart. Walk the hands forwards, rest the forehead gently down to the ground, and feel free to close down the eyes. As we take a moment here to settle in and center ourselves before we slip and slide into just a sweet, full body vinyasa flow. And you might even start today's practice by asking a question of the heart. What does my heart need? So often within the busyness of life and the constant overstimulation of modern society, it's easy to lose track of what we truly need on a deeper level, as opposed to what we think we want from the superficial. And then we get onto our yoga mats and it serves as an opportunity to reconnect and strengthen that relationship to ourselves. What does my heart need? Now bring your attention towards the breath, steadily moving in and out through the nose. With each inhale, the lungs expand into the inner thighs. And with each exhale, they compress and that belly sinks closer down towards the floor. Blink open the eyes if you still have them closed. And then we're going to make our way into a tabletop pose, so wrists beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the waist, untuck the toes. Then on an inhale, drop the belly as we make our way into a cow pose. Just taking a couple of breaths here to feel this backward bend shape. The inner elbows draw forwards, the collarbones broaden. And then exhale, reverse that, round the back, cat pose, dome the upper back, tuck the tailbone, draw the chin to the chest. And then inhale, drop the belly, cow pose. Exhale, round the back, cat. Push into the floor, dome the shoulder blades. And then make your way back into a neutral table. Step the right foot to the back of the yoga mat, shift the weight into the right hand, and then reach the left fingertips forwards as if you're about to shake somebody's hand. This is called spine balancing, or sometimes called sunbird. And what we're looking for here is that balance within the body as we're reaching opposing extremities away from each other, which in turn builds that core stability which is so key to our yoga practice. And if you want to add on to this and make it more challenging, you can slowly lift the right foot off the floor, keeping all the toes pointing down towards the ground. Adding on to that balance, adding on to that stability. Keeping those hips neutral, keeping that right heel in line with the right hip. Let's take one more inhale here. And then exhale, drop the left hand and the right knee back down to the floor. Inhale, drop the belly, cow pose. Exhale, round the back, cat. Come back into a neutral table, let's do the other sides. Step the left foot to the back of the yoga mat. Reach the right fingertips forwards. Feel that stability, feel that balance, keeping the hips neutral. And then the invitation to lift that left leg off the floor, adding more of a challenge to this already quite challenging pose, finding that foundation, finding that stability, keeping the hips level with each other, and really reach the right hand and the left heel as far back as you can, as you get long within the spine. One more inhale breath here. Exhale, right hand down, left knee down. Walk the hands forward slightly. Step the feet back for a plank pose, top of a push-up. Inhale, breath, shift the shoulders over the wrists. Then exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Untuck the toes. Keep the hands beneath the shoulders. And now let's do this. Lift the right leg and the chest up at the same time, using that right glute to raise the leg, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then exhale, lower the chest and the leg down to the floor. Inhale, lift the left leg and the chest. Exhale, lower down to the floor. Now keeping both feet on the ground, inhale, lift the chest, cobra pose, squeeze those shoulder blades, lift the chest up, push into the palms. Exhale, lower down to the floor. Inhale, lift the right leg and the chest. Exhale, lower down to the floor. Inhale, lift the left leg and the chest. Exhale, release down. Inhale, lift the chest, cobra pose, reach the toes back, maybe come a bit higher. And then exhale, downward facing dog, tuck the toes, send the hips to the sky, drop the head down. First downward facing dog of the practice, so feel free to move around here in any way that feels good for you. Just taking a moment to check in, figure things out, scan the terrain of your body, and then whatever's there, you're not meeting it with resistance, you're not working against it, but you're working with it. As we start to cultivate that healthy relationship between our bodies and our minds. Start to slow down any movement here as we find stillness here in this downward facing dog. Spread those fingertips wide. Glue the underside of the knuckles down to the floor. Straighten the arms, push into those shoulders, and allow the chest to draw towards the legs. Inhale, reach those hips to the sky. Then exhale, straighten the legs and allow the heels to be heavy as they sink down towards the floor, as if there's magnets in them. And if your heels don't touch the floor, then that's fine. It took me about 2 years of practicing yoga every single day before I could bring my heels down to the floor in a downward facing dog. Take one more inhale here, gently reach the hips back, extend the shoulders. And then exhale, walk the feet in between the hands, forward fold at the front of the yoga mat. Keeping those feet hip width apart. Maybe grab onto opposite elbows and allow the upper body to be heavy. Breathe into those hamstrings. Release the hands down to the floor beneath the shoulders. Inhale, flat back, come onto the fingertips, lift the chest up halfway, get long in the spine. And then exhale, forward fold, let it go. 2 more just like that. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Get long in the spine. Exhale, forward fold, unwind. Put a little bend into those knees. Then on your next inhale, circle the hands to the sky. Reaching those fingertips up, getting long in the waists. And then exhale, bring the hands down to heart center, prayer pose. Then inhale, reach the hands back to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, send the hands down to the floor, keeping those legs straight. Inhale, flat back, come onto the fingertips. And then exhale, place the hands down and step the right foot to the back of the yoga mat. Drop the right knee down to the floor and untuck the right toes. Bring the hands up on top of that left thigh as we stretch out that right hip flexor. On your next inhale, reach the hands up to the sky and imagine you're holding a heavy round object above your head to keep the shoulders engaged. Again, we're sending the hips forwards and down, opening the front side of the right leg. Take one more inhale here, get long in the spine, reach those fingertips up. And then exhale, open twist to the left, right hand forward, left hand back. And then just being mindful that as you twist, you're initiating it from above the diaphragm. So think the upper half of your torso. Keeping the spine long and the core strong. Reaching those fingertips away from each other. We're going to reverse the lunge. So reach the left hand down to the right leg, maybe grabbing onto the hamstring or maybe even the calf. And with the right hand, we're going to reach it to the back of the room, opening up that right side body, breathing into that right hip. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, bring the right hand down inside the left foot. Reach the left hand up to the sky. Tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee off the ground, and then reach the left hand back, rotating through the torso, the right side of the ribcage tucks under. And then as you exhale, rotate the toes to face the right side of the yoga mat, making our way into a prasarita, standing straddle forward fold, hands beneath the shoulders. Find yourself a comfortable stance here. Wide enough so you can feel the stretch, but not too wide that it's causing you any discomfort. We're still very early in the practice, so we have plenty of time to go deeper. Then once you've found that comfortable wide stance, maybe you can bring the elbows down to the floor. Just let the upper body be heavy. And then what I like to do in this pose is walk the hands beneath the legs, and then use the fingertips to gently pull myself deeper into the pose. Bring the hands back beneath the shoulders on an exhale. Then inhale, flat back just like we did in a forward fold. Lift the chest up. And then exhale, bend into the right knee and squat down as we make our way into a Skandasana, spider lunge. And you can keep the right heel lifted, you can stay on the fingertips. And if those hips are feeling open enough, you can drop the right heel down to the floor. We're just listening in to our own bodies, trying to find our edge in all these poses. But when we find that edge, we're not meeting it with aggression, we're not trying to force anything, but we're meeting it with kindness, care, and a little bit of tenderness. Now check this out. Keeping the upper body and the hips as low to the ground as you can, we're going to move to the front of the yoga mat, place the right hand inside the left foot, come onto the outer edge of the right foot, and then stack the left foot on top of the right, and you just made your way into a side plank Vashisthasana, but you did it cool and smoothly like a ninja. So here we are in this Vashisthasana. Push into that right shoulder so you're not collapsing into the shoulder blades. Engage that right side body and send all the energy out the left fingertips. With that good foundation in the right hand, take an inhale, reach the left hand back, open the chest, and then exhale, thread the needle, reach the left fingertips beneath the right rib cage as far through as you can. Then inhale, reach the hand back to the sky. Exhale, thread the needle, left hand beneath the right ribs, reach. Inhale, reach the hand to the sky. Exhale, thread the needle one more time, reach that left hand through. Inhale, send the hand back up. Exhale, bring the left hand down to the floor, full plank pose. Shift the shoulders over the wrists on an inhale, then exhale, bend the arms, chaturanga, lower down to the floor. Untuck the toes, inhale, lift the chest, cobra pose. Exhale, send the hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Breathe into the back of those legs. Then exhale, make your way to the front of the yoga mat. Inhale, come onto the fingertips, flat back. Exhale, let it go, forward fold. Circle the hands to the sky on an inhale. Maybe the palms touch at the top. And then exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. Inhale, hands reach. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold, bring the hands down to the ground. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step the left foot back, let's do the other side. Drop the left knee down to the ground and untuck the toes. Bring the hands on top of that right thigh, just behind the knee. And send those hips forwards and down. Engage the left glutes. Open the front side of the left leg. And then reach the hands up to the sky, holding that invisible object up above your head to keep the shoulders engaged. Sink deep into that left hip flexor. Inhale, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, twist to the right, right hand back, left hand forwards. Keeping that spine neutral and long above the hips, the neck in line with the spine. Moving on to reverse list lunge, reach the right hand down to the left leg, maybe grabbing onto the hamstring or the calf, and then reach the left hand to the back of the yoga mat, getting deeper into that left hip flexor, but engaging the left glute, so squeeze that left bum cheek. Take one more inhale here, reach. Exhale, bring the left hand inside the right foot, and just like we did on the opposite side, tuck the left toes under. Lift the left knee off the ground, reach the right fingertips up to the sky, and then pull the right hand back as we get that rotation through the abdomen. And then rotate the feet towards the left side of the yoga mat, hands beneath the shoulders, making our way into a standing straddle forward fold on the opposite side this time. Maybe get a bit deeper into the pose. Maybe bring the hands down to the floor or the forearms down. And then maybe reach the hands beneath the legs. Taking an inhale to get long in the spine. And then exhale, pull yourself deep. Bring the hands back beneath the shoulders. Inhale, lift the chest halfway, and then exhale, bend down into that left leg, Skandasana to the left, keeping that right leg straight, keeping the chest tall. Maybe drop the left heel down to the floor if it's accessible for you. And then just try to use the breath to release any tension that might be lingering around along the back side of that right leg. And now we're going to do that same transition into the side plank. So keeping the hips low, move to the front of the yoga mat, place the left hand inside the right foot, drop the outer left side of the foot down to the ground, step the right foot on top of the left, reach the right fingertips up to the sky, side plank Vashisthasana. Gripping into the mat with those fingertips, pushing into that left shoulder, sending all the energy out the right fingertips. Take an inhale here, reach that left hand back. And then exhale, thread the needle, right hand beneath the left ribs. Inhale, reach the fingertips up, get long. Exhale, squeeze that left side body, thread the needle deep. Inhale, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, thread the needle. Inhale, fingertips to the sky. And then exhale, bring the right hand down to the floor, full plank pose. Inhale, shift the shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, bend the arms, chaturanga. Untuck the toes, lift the chest, cobra. Exhale, send the hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Inhale here, breathe into the back of the legs, send the hips up. Exhale, step or float to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, make your way to standing, circle the hands to the sky. Exhale, hands down to heart center. So we took the time there to move slowly through those poses, get a feel for the foundations, get a feel for the alignment. But now we're going to take that same sequence and we're going to take it up a gear by turning it into a steady flow. So one breath, one movement, as we embody the meaning of vinyasa. So take an inhale, reach the hands up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step the right foot back, drop the right knee down to the ground. Inhale, reach the hands up to the sky, low lunge. Exhale, open twist to the left, right hand forwards, left hand back. Inhale, reverse, reach the left hand down to the right hamstring or calf. Exhale, bring the right hand inside the left foot. Inhale, lift the right leg and reach the left hand up to the sky. And then exhale, rotate the feet to the right, standing straddle forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, bend into that right leg, skandasana. Stay for the inhale here, set yourself up. And then exhale, move to the front of the mat, place the right hand inside the left foot. Inhale, side plank on the right, reach those left fingertips up. Exhale, bring the left hand down to the floor, full plank pose. Inhale, shift the shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, bend the arms, chaturanga. Inhale, lift the chest, cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, breathe. Exhale, step to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circle hands to the sky. Exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. Inhale, circle the hands back up. Exhale, forward fold, fingertips down. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, step the left foot back, drop the left knee down to the ground. Inhale, reach those fingertips to the sky. Exhale, open twist to the right, right hand back, left hand forwards. Inhale, reverse lunge, reach the left fingertips back. Exhale, bring the left hand inside that right foot. Lift the left knee off the ground. Inhale, reach the right fingertips to the sky. Exhale, pivot to the left, taking the wide stance. Inhale, pull the chest up. Exhale, drop down into that left leg. Inhale, skandasana. Exhale, move gracefully to the front of the mat. Inhale, side plank on the left, fingertips up. Exhale, bring the right hand down to the floor. And let's hold here. Hold here in high plank pose. Tuck the tailbone, engage the core, push the ground away from you and protract the shoulder blades. As we set up for 5 yogi style push-ups. Now I'd rather do 6 or 7, but considering this is my first online class, I thought I'd be nice to you guys. And remember, if you need to set the knees down, that's perfectly fine. So take an inhale here, plank pose. Exhale, bend the arms. Inhale, push it up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, push to plank. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, plank pose, 2 more to go. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to plank. I think we did 1 extra there, I'm not sure. And then lower all the way down to the floor. Beautiful. Untuck the toes, Sphinx pose, bring the elbows beneath the shoulders. Forearms running parallel to each other like railroad tracks. Take a huge inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth, let it go. Whew. And that's why we call it power yoga, guys. We move through those dynamic sequences whilst restricting the breath. We embrace the challenge and we start to unlock the power that resides within us. So we're here now in the Sphinx pose. Elbows beneath the shoulders, engage the glutes. And then imagine drawing the skin of your forearms backwards as your chest draws through the gateways of your shoulders. So you're coming into a nice back bend. And if you want to deepen the back bend here, then you can push into the palms and straighten the arms for seal pose. Get a bit more room to breathe into the lungs. Let's take one more inhale here. Exhale, lower down to the ground, bring the hands beneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes, lift the legs, and then push up to a plank. Send the hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg to the sky. And then exhale, draw the right knee to the right tricep. Hold here, engage the core. Then with control, drop the right knee down to the right wrist, keeping it lifted a couple of inches above the ground. And then shift the right knee over to the left wrist. Draw the right knee up to the left tricep, and then bring it back to the right tricep. Take an inhale here, and then exhale, place the foot outside the right hand for lizard lunge. Flexibility for the hips. Now drop the left knee down to the ground, untuck the left toes, shift the weight into the left hand and reach the right hand forwards. And then exhale, circle the fingertips to the back of the yoga mat, reaching towards the left foot. And if you want to go even deeper, then bend the left knee and grab the outer side of the left foot with the right hand. Pull the left heel towards the left glute. Inhale to lengthen through the spine, pull the chest up and out. And then exhale, allow the left hip to drop down towards the ground. So not only are we getting a deep hip stretch, but now we're getting the quadriceps involved in the action. Release the left foot and drop it back down to the ground. Bring the right hand back inside the right foot. Shake out the left wrist for a moment. Get a bit more blood flow going into the fingertips. Bring the left hand back down to the ground. Lift the left leg up and then pivot onto the outer edge of the left foot. Inhale, reach the right fingertips to the sky, and then in one movement, step the right foot on top of the left for side plank. Take an inhale here, then exhale, bring the right hand down to the ground for plank pose, but keep the right foot lifted. And if you want to have even more fun, shift the weight into the right hand and lift the left fingertips off the ground and reach them forward for an awkward plank. And hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the left hand and the right foot down to the ground. Take an inhale here in plank. Then exhale, lower down to the ground. Chaturanga, untuck the toes. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the toes and send the hips back, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, reach the left leg up to the sky. And then exhale, draw the left knee to the left tricep. And you can probably guess where we're going. Slowly start to lower the knee down to the left wrist. And then bring the knee over to the right wrist. Bring the knee up to the right tricep. Squeeze, engage the core. And then bring it back to the left tricep. Take an inhale here. And then step the foot outside the left hand. Making our way back into that lizard lunge on the opposite side this time. Getting into those hips. And with each exhale, eroding away the tension as the muscles loosen off. Drop the right knee down to the ground, untuck the right toes, shift the weight into the right hand, And then reach the left fingertips forwards as if you're about to shake somebody's hand. And then reach the left hand to the back of the yoga mat, reaching the fingertips down towards the right foot. And again, the invitation to bend the right leg and grab onto the outer right foot, pulling the foot close to the glutes as we sink deep into this sweet stretch for the hips and the quadricep. Now slowly start to release that right foot back down to the ground. Bring the left hand back inside the left foot. Take a moment here to shake out that right wrist. Bring the right hand back down to the ground. Lift the right knee off the floor. Take an inhale, reach the left fingertips up to the sky. Go onto the outer edge of the right foot. And then step the left foot on top of the right as we make our way into a side plank once more, Vashisthasana. And then exhale, bring the left hand back down to the ground, but keep the left foot lifted as we make our way into a one-legged plank. And if you want to join me for an awkward plank, slowly start to lift the right hand off the ground, reach the fingertips forwards, and let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1.5, 1.25, and then drop the hand down and the foot down, full plank pose. And then exhale, send those hips back for a downward facing dog. Make your way to the front of the yoga mat on an exhale. Then inhale, lift the chest flat back. Exhale, forward fold, then bend the knees and drop the hips, and float the hands to the sky for chair pose. Sitting down deep into that invisible chair. Feel those legs start to wake up, keeping that spine neutral, with the gaze just below the horizon to keep the neck in line with the spine. Set the chair up, and if it feels good to you, drop the hips even lower, maybe bringing the hips in line with the knees. Breathe into that sensation, breathe into the fire. Take one more inhale here, and then exhale, stand up, bring the hands down to heart center. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky. Then exhale, forward fold as we ride the rhythm of our breaths. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, step back and lower down on the same breath. Untuck the toes, lift the chest, cobra. Exhale, send the hips to the sky, downward facing dog. And then inhale, right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Draw the right knee to the chest, place the foot between the hands, and then drop the left heel down to the ground. And then on your next inhale, let the upper body be light as you float the hands to the sky for warrior one. The inner left hip draws forwards, the outer right hip draws back, so the hips are square to the front of the yoga mat, along with the chest. And now let's straighten the right leg. Take an inhale, reach the hands back and look up to the sky for a little back bend. Exhale, forward fold over the right leg, pyramid pose, bring the hands down to the floor to frame the right foot. Keeping a slight bend in the right knee to avoid any hyperextension. Pull the inner left hip forwards as you draw the right hip back to get a bit more length along the back side of the right leg. Nice, you guys. On the next inhale, let's float the hands back up to the sky, push into the right foot. And then exhale, rebend the right knee and bring the hands down behind the lower back. Interlace the fingers. Inhale, reach the knuckles down as you pull the chest up to the sky. And then exhale, humble warrior. Drop the chest down inside the right thigh. And you can keep that right shoulder resting on top of the right knee, the right thigh. Or you can drop it inside the right leg to intensify the pose. You just go to your own degree and embrace the challenge that comes along. Staying with that cool, calm breath, channeling in and out through the nose with ease. On your next inhale, float the hands back to the sky, warrior one, palms face each other. And then exhale, hands down to the ground to frame the right foot, step the right foot back, classic vinyasa, lower down to the ground. Inhale, lift the chest cobra. Exhale, send the hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, breath here. Exhale, step or float to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees and sit back. Inhale, reach the hands up, chair pose. Sitting down deep as low as you can, keeping those hands high, the spine neutral. And then maybe, if you want to spice things up a bit, lift the heels off the floor. So chair pose on the toes. Sit down a bit deeper if you can. Feel the activation in those legs. A couple of breaths here. And then drop the heels, stand up, bring the hands down to heart center. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, let it go, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step or jump into a chaturanga. Inhale, lift the chest cobra. Exhale, hips back, head down, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up, let's do the other side. Exhale, place the left foot between the hands and enjoy the ride. Drop that right heel down to the ground, set the foundation up. Inhale, float the hands to the sky, Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1 pose. Bending into that left knee, squaring off through the hips, and with that solid foundation and that good alignment set, everything should fall into place. Straighten the left leg. Inhale, reach the hands back and look up. Exhale, pyramid pose, fold over that left leg like a velvet blanket. Take a moment here to check that your heels are in line with each other. Pull that left hip back slightly, keep a little bend in the left knee. Maybe stay on the fingertips, maybe bring the palms down to the ground. Get long through that left hamstring. On your next inhale, hands to the sky, reverse what you did. Exhale, bend the left knee, Warrior 1. Bring the hands down behind the lower back, interlace the fingers, send those knuckles down to the floor, pull the chest up to the sky, and then exhale, drop the chest inside the left leg, either keeping the left shoulder on the left thigh or dropping it inside the leg. Now, if you choose to devote yourself to the practice of yoga, then naturally you will just become stronger, you'll become more flexible, you'll get wiser, which are all great qualities to have, but they're also qualities which fuel the ego. And this pose, Humble Warrior, is designed to keep that ego in check. This pose embodies that benevolent quality of humility. On the next inhale, hands back to the sky, float the arms up, Warrior 1. And then exhale, frame the foot, hands down to the ground, step the left foot back, classic vinyasa, bend the arms, chaturanga. Inhale, lift the chest, cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes down, facing dog. Now you can stay here in this downward facing dog, or you can join me for a dolphin pose by dropping the elbows down to the ground, keeping the forearms parallel to each other, grip into the mat with the fingertips to give yourself some balance, and then just like we would in a downward facing dog, reach the hips to the sky, and then bring the heels down as low to the ground as you can. And then really push into those fingertips, really push into those elbows to protract the shoulder blades. And close down the eyes.
Make this your meditation. Come back to that steady breath. This inhale, this exhale. And if those shoulders start to talk to you, the legs start to talk to you, just breathe. Breathe through whatever your body is trying to relate to you. Stay with the breath, stay with your intention. Let's do about another 30 seconds here, guys. Keeping that integrity within this dolphin pose. Keeping that breath steady and calm. Keeping those shoulders strong, protracting the shoulder blades, pushing into the elbows. Another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, great work, you guys. Slowly release down. Let's make our way back into a child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. Sink the torso down to the floor. Feel that breath flowing into the belly. And then make your way out of a child's pose. Slowly come up onto the knees. Walk the knees about 3/4 of the way up the yoga mat. Cross the feet behind you. Sit down. Drop the bum to the ground. Bring the soles of the feet together as we make our way into a butterfly pose or a diamond pose. Relax the hips, allow the knees to draw down towards the floor. Then grab onto your ankles or maybe interlace the fingers in between the toes. Take an inhale, pull that chest out. And then exhale, forward fold, lower the chest down towards the feet. Close down the eyes and settle in. There's a story of a skeptical meditation student who went to his teacher and he asked, "What is it that I gain from meditation?" And the teacher looked at him with a smile on his face and he said, "What is it that you gain? You've got it completely backwards. It has nothing to do with what you gain, and it has everything to do with what you lose." So in many ways, these yoga practices, they add on to who we are. We get stronger, we become more flexible, we become more patient. But through a consistent meditation practice, you will lose anger, you will lose jealousy, bitterness, spitefulness, regrets, all those qualities that are no longer serving you. Release out of butterfly pose. Bring the hands to the outer knees. Using the assistance of your hands, draw the knees together. Maybe shift forward slightly as we lower down to the ground. Draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself one big squeeze. Take an inhale. And that's it, guys. You did it. You made it to the end of class. Release everything down to the floor as we make our way into Shavasana, corpse pose. palms to the sky. Allow those legs to just fall in whatever position they feel comfortable in. And this might be the most important pose of the class, because it has nothing to do with the physical and everything to do with the subtle. Let go of the breath, let go of any tension, sink into stillness. I'm going to let this video come to a close in about a minute or so, but feel free to stay here for another 5 or 10 minutes. Enjoy the Shavasana. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed the class, and I'll see you on the mat again soon. Have a great day, everyone. Namaste.